Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. A month later, still doing the damn pick-me dance. It's been a month and I keep doing the goddamn pick-me dance. I can't stop, it's like I just cannot move on. She's told me every way possible that she doesn't love me, doesn't even want to try, doesn't want it to work, simply does not want to be with me ever again. I think the longest I've gone without at least reaching out and offering to talk was like a week. Then I just break down again and call her asking to get back together. She doesn't even want to let me buy her dinner, let alone get back together. I still love her, goddammit. How can I move on when I still love her so deeply? It feels impossible to the point where I'm a groveling fool who gets rejected on the weekly. Mind movies of her moving on with another guy drive me insane. Hell, she's already moved on emotionally. I'm just an annoyance to her at this point. You still love her. Try tricking yourself by saying the only way you're gonna get her back is by not doing the pick-me dance. In all actuality, that is your only hope. You need to make her realize that she can be replaced and you will be okay without her. Otherwise, you're just validating her leaving. Doing this helped me a lot in my divorce. You need to stop acting like the groveling fool. Your whole mindset needs to change. You are treating her like a celebrity, so she is treating you like a fan. Some advice that was given to me in a men's support group was to do the opposite of what you are inclined to do. This ultimately didn't save my marriage, but it put me in a better place mentally. Yup. Essentially, when they leave, they tip all the power in the relationship by being the only person who can decide to continue. Pulling the plug on that power returns everything to factory settings. Weird analogy, I know. The relationship might turn back on again, or it might not ever turn back on again. Regardless, you'll be better for it. I agree with this. It will get better up. Be well, everyone. Coping with her moving on. Looking for advice on coping with the love of your life moving on emotionally and physically. How do I cope with her loving another man now that she no longer loves me? How do I cope with her having sex with another man and not me? Just looking for advice. As far as I know, she hasn't done either of those things, but it will happen eventually, maybe sooner than I expect. Changing for the better before the divorce. Is this a known pattern? Hey all, so I've noticed a weird pattern with my story and the stories of others. I'm wondering if this is a known phenomenon. I was emotionally neglectful of my wife for years. I would often refuse to help her with things that she needed and refuse offers to go on dates with her just because I didn't feel like it. I was too tired after work. However, I felt like I improved slowly over the years, with a strong change towards the end of our relationship. I had no idea my relationship was in trouble. However, I did begin to realize how much my wife was struggling as a Zam. In the last couple of months of my relationship, I made some big decisions to be able to help her out more. I decided I would quit my second job in order to split the childcare 50-50 while I still worked one part-time job. I began helping her out a lot more, cleaning the house without being asked and taking care of all of her housework while she was spending time with her friends. Things were looking up at all angles. Before I was able to quit my job, 2 weeks' notice, my wife decided the relationship was over. She said she hadn't loved me for a long time and it was completely over. Nothing could save our relationship. Granted, I had emotionally neglected her for years. However, I was making bigger strides than I ever had before to change in order to help her out more and be that better husband. So after reflecting on this, I've noticed a pattern with other stories I've read of divorced men. It seems like when a man is not a good husband for a long time, the wife puts up with it. But when the man decides to make changes for the better, that's when the wife goes into oh shit mode and decides to end the relationship due to past grievances. It's almost like the man changing for the better is a wake-up call for the wife to pull the trigger on separation. Like she has to make a decision: am I going to let him be a better husband, or should I end it here to make it a point how bad he was before? In my instance, my STBX told me it was too late and the damage was already done. But it just seems odd that she would pull the trigger when things were getting better than ever for her. This seems to match a lot of the stories I've read of other men whose wives decided to divorce. Am I just reading too far into things, or is this really a pattern with women who decide to separate? I'm genuinely curious if this is a known phenomenon. Edit, just so everyone is clear, I'm not trying to trivialize her reasons for leaving me. Like I said, I was emotionally neglectful prior to the separation. But it just seems odd that once things were improving and I was making big positive changes to improve her situation, that's when she decided to pull the trigger on it, and that seems to match other people's stories. I'm just wondering if there's a pattern to that. Reclaiming my home. I'm still very much hung up on my STBX. It's been a month and a half since she left me. Every day is still full of mood swings still, but generally I'm becoming more stable emotionally, but the depressive lows seem to be getting lower. Today I took care of a lot of things. I cleaned out old papers she had lying around, went through all of my documents and took all of her stuff out to give to her, and other small cleaning. That's one of the few things that makes me feel more independent, is cleaning up the house the way I want to it be, and to get her stuff out. Thankfully, due to lucky circumstances, I get to keep the home. She didn't want to fight for it from the start, but she couldn't if she wanted to. But as someone said, her ghost still lives here. It's very true. She was a stay-at-home mom and took care of all of the home decorating/arranging. Everything in here was put here by her. At the start of the divorce I took the major triggers off the walls, but when literally everything in the home was picked by her, it's hard to reclaim the house without gutting everything. I'm too poor to gut and rebuy home decorations ATM. I've just never had to do it before, so I don't even know what I would want the decor scheme to look like. The only room I've ever decorated is my man cave, and it's kind of atrocious, collectibles all over the walls lol. I want my house to feel like it's solely mine, but I also don't want it looking like a two-story man cave lamau. Anyone else with this experience have any pointers? Step by step. Keep cleaning the shit out. As the clutter goes, your ideas and creativity will flow. Maybe sounds a bit unmanly, but Marie Kondo's spark joy is pretty awesome. r/Mally living space. Great sub. You may feel overwhelmed at first, but that's okay. There are tons of guys just starting to browse completed spaces and review the comments. Excellent way to start. There's also several great people to follow around YouTube once you figure out what you're into, and as the budget allows. For me, I was like you. Every decor choice was a sure/don't care response by me through the 10 years. She kept the house, but that meant I started with almost nothing. And no design style ideas or clue, frankly. Take it slow, go with the function stuff first and slowly evolve it. Turn it into a hobby. Sorry for your loss, they say it gets better. I've been on my own since January and that's certainly true, but not how you'd think. Stay strong and exercise the ghost. First thing I bought was a clock and towels. The clock seemed important. Invite some friends/family over and ask for their help/opinions. You could make a day of it by ordering food also. I hired an interior decorator to come in and give me some opinions. The guy was gay as hell but had some awesome ideas for a man's home that I liked a lot. Take those ideas and go to your closest Ross, because they have tons of cheap house decor stuff. Step -1, get rid of unnecessary items. Just get rid of them. Leave your bed, a dining table, your TV etc. Step -2, start painting accent walls. Colors are very different from what you have now. Home Depot can prepare primer and paint for you. Paint and paint. The smell of fresh paint exorcises all kinds of demons. Step 3, start buying things you need. One item at a time. It will work for you. Trust me. It did for me. I totally relate to this post. When my wife moved out late last year, I painted the bedroom a cool new color. Got new bedding and cool wall decor. I bought new rugs for the living room as well as some new clothes. I bought new lamps and just changed things up. I'm still in the process of making it my home instead of a home we shared. It shows my character and taste. It's actually very rewarding. I've also been having a woman I'm dating spend the night. It was perfect timing. She refuses marriage counseling. Mental health/depression/loneliness. Hey all. My STBXW refuses to do marriage counseling. We've been separated for a month and a half. I put so much value on our decade-long relationship despite all the hurtful things she's done/said after separation and slightly before. I feel like 10 years of relationship is worth fighting tooth and nail for, especially because we have a young child. She disagrees though. She left with the light switch effect once she dropped the news that she didn't love me anymore and didn't want to be a full-time mom. She was gone the same night and rejected my multiple attempts at reconciliation. I've been working hard to respect myself by not doing the pick-me-up dance, and I'm getting better at it, but deep down I still want her to reconcile. She seems happier than ever, but I believe she is in the fog of emotional affair partners pampering her. Her carefree lifestyle post-separation is unsustainable to say the least. Well, the other day I broke down and again asked for marriage counseling, saying our relationship was worth the effort and we've never had professional help before. She denied at first, but then said if you want to pay for it and schedule it, go ahead, but all I'm gonna do is walk in and say I don't want to be with him and walk out. I'd only do it so you'll stop asking. It hurts like hell to hear that. She's clearly still in the fog and I believe she will come back once she's out, but by then I won't be able to forgive her. I just wish she would give marriage counseling a fair chance. I think it could help us reconcile before she dies, something that makes it impossible. I'm struggling so hard without her. She's clearly still in the fog and I believe she would come back once she's out. Doesn't sound like it to me. I would honestly love this kind of clear communication with my STBXW, no matter how hateful or stark. If she told me that, I'd be like, okay, sweet, that's all I needed to know. Take it as a blessing and get yourself some individual counseling. Do just accept it's over and move on. No one needs anyone. It's nice to have someone, but if someone does this to you, they don't love you. I was married when I was 25, divorced when I was 30. I am 57 and still single to this day. It's been a great life and would never trade being single to go back to being miserable and in pain in a relationship again. It's just not worth it. Or maybe she's not in the fog anymore. Marriage counseling is for when problems start, not when someone is out the door. You are chasing someone who is running away, and the more you chase, the faster she will run. Imagine a stranger coming up to you and saying I love you, and asks you to marry her. You politely say no and move on. She keeps following you around asking you why not. You are not listening to her. She does not want to work it out. You can search the internet to justify her actions, but she is gone. I know this sounds harsh, but you need to move on. Yes, it sucks. Get focused on you and your new life. You can't control what she is doing, only how you respond. Today is your day one to become the new you. Get your respect back and leave her cheating ass in the rear view. Good luck. When someone tells you they are done, believe them. Better yourself and go North Carolina with her. Your attempts to win her back or work on the relationship are simply feeding into her ego, and she sees you as worth less and less every day. By cutting ties, and working on yourself, it will serve you in both ways. If she wakes up and after some other dudes duck her and leave her repeatedly, she will see you as a better prospect, especially if you had growth of self. Remember, most people want what they can't have. If she doesn't ever want you back, your growth of self serves you to make your life better for the next woman that you meet. Win-win. In any case, going full North Carolina gives you the best odds of having a say in the outcome. Playing pick me just validates her choices and lessens her respect for you if there was any to lose. You are not talking to someone who wants to reason, she just wants out. Playing pick me just hardens her resolve. I am 3 months since STBXW left. I did the same as you, a lot of begging and pleading for 2 months, and now I regret it big time. Just ignore her and go full North Carolina. That's the only chance you have to get her back now, if you really want her back. I'm so sorry that this is your experience. I would encourage you to give up on the idea of couples counseling. She has said and done hurtful things to you. You don't have to forgive her for that. She is having a good time without you. You don't have to blame yourself for that. You have the ability to be on your own. You just need to find your courage. I'm rooting for you. You've got this. Dude, that's not how marital counseling works. At least not the types I've been to. You go in and they ask what your goals are with therapy and what you hope to achieve. They ask some questions about what you like about the other person and what you don't. Maybe some questions about life in general and how you see things versus how your partner sees things. It's not uncommon for the counselor to eventually say, you two shouldn't be together. The only ones where they are hardcore, save this marriage, are when you meet with a minister, but in those cases, the person who wants out has to think the minister is a source of wise and be deferential to them. You just need to accept that this is over and stop worrying about her unsustainable lifestyle. It might be true, but that'll be her problem. You need to focus on yourself and how to be a single father, get your life in order and be in a position to have a new life of your own. It takes both partners to make a marriage work. It takes only one of them to make a marriage not work. She sounds intent on making your marriage not work. Good, it saves you time and money. Marital counseling does not work. It's more like a really slow exit interview. Run. My ex, 51 meters, promised counseling and he talked about going to AA, so we put divorce on hold while we, meaning me, tried to work on marriage. I 55F was the only one that did anything. I continued to work, clean house, take care of pets, and now I get to be stuck in the home I shared with him until he agrees to an acceptable amount to buy him out or sell the house. If your spouse will not commit to counseling, they will never go and truly mean it. Greater than it hurts like hell to hear that. I know it does, but honestly she's being deadly clear about it and she's doing you a favor there versus the alternative of wanting to keep up an appearance, going to counseling, and not actually doing any of the work. You've been married for a decade and have kids. I can tell you that no marriage under those conditions is going to look better than the fun, excitement, and carefree life that's being offered as an affair. Because it's not real life. It's butterflies and unicorns. You really, really, need to shift gears here. The gear you need to shift into is protecting yourself and using the fact that she wants to be carefree to your advantage. If you don't, you're very likely to get saddled with spousal support, child support, and frankly, she can simply live with her AP. That's the legal reality if you don't change gears here. The gear shift has the added benefit of applying consequences to her actions. To date, there have been none. She gets a free sitter, gets to be with her boyfriend, and is probably running around without worrying about the bills at home. You really, really, need a game plan here. Give her short-term and carefree. Secure your custody rights and shore up your income and housing situation. Seriously, listen to what I'm saying here. Because as much as the right now sucks, you want to take care of that future. It gets better, but you've got to make a move here. You've learned some lessons in the long-term care and feeding of a relationship. That can really help you in the future. You will get over her. It just doesn't happen overnight. Yup, that's accurate. I've literally taken over our past life since she left. She's not helped with anything whatsoever and is living with her APs. There's two actually. I like the way you describe the affair life being more fun and exciting than real life. Because it's a fairy tale. I'm doing quite well assets and custody wise because she's in the fog and acting short-sighted because of it. I'm getting everything I want on those fronts so far. The big struggle for me is the emotional one. Doing my best to get better mentally, but it's a long process and I continue to make mistakes on that front. I'm critically lonely, I don't have friends I can really talk to, so I'm starting from scratch socially effectively. Hoping I can make a good connection with someone soon so I'm not so alone. My loneliness also compounds my jealousy of her apps. She's emotionally pampered while I'm all alone. It's very depressing. I'm doing quite well assets and custody wise because she's in the fog and acting short-sighted because of it. I'm getting everything I want on those fronts so far. The big struggle for me is the emotional one. Until you're divorced, these things are not locked down. They can reverse at any time. I get the emotional struggle. I remember it. Therapy can help and can give you a place to talk it out, and perhaps productive ways to deal with it. If you're socially isolated, this is even more important. I remember starting over, at least without any single friends. Expanding my social circle was an intentional thing. There are meetup groups for people going through divorce, single parents, etc. They may give you some of the social connection you're looking for. But you've got to go do it. Highly recommend it. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.